Desiree, it's Sean. I was trying to give you a call. I hate texting so much. Anyway, I guess I'll call you back in a little bit. Be safe. Bye.
I'm apartment finding right now. I'm out in Lafayette. I'm sorry, I'm at an interview with this apartment. I'll call you right back. Love you though.
Well, I'm glad she's apartment finding. Well, these people are getting help. There's people like Kelly. Kelly just got into housing. She was gonna help me, but she's afraid of losing her housing now. Christine, she was gonna help me, but she got into housing. She's afraid of losing her housing now. These people were basically rewarded for doing me wrong. Not that Kelly would do me wrong intentionally. She's just afraid of the consequences. Whereas Christine, yeah, she did me wrong intentionally. She knew exactly what she was doing. People don't want to hear me screaming. I get that. I don't want to be screaming. I want to be close to my loved ones and safe from the police. I want my life to end every single moment of every single day. But people keep telling me pretty words. People keep telling me they'll help. Like my little sister, and my dad, and Shannon, and Dan. Meanwhile, the people who said they were going to help before Natalie died, they didn't. Like Joanna Smith, Jeff Ritter, Pierre Worsbluck, or Pierre Byron, whatever he goes by now. I haven't got a hold of Tinkerbell. Her real name is Ariel. So I suppose I had to call her the Little Mermaid, right? She was someone I met through a guy named Eric Hero. She was going to college to be a lawyer. The very same college that I was told I should go to in order to try to get aid getting a lawyer. Well, it turned out that they don't help out people like me. I didn't qualify. The cops, they just wanted to prevent me from showing evidence. That's all they wanted. Evidence of their wrongdoing. And they did do wrong. They knew that Officer Michael West had done wrong. And that Officer Lola Tai had done wrong. They didn't care. Well, they did, actually. That's their fellow officer. That's the problem with the blue line of bullshit. People keep telling me about these services that are out there. And I call them and I go to them. Only to find out they don't do anything useful. I'm overwhelmed because of the things that have happened to me and the lack of funding to even take care of myself. And the help they want to give me is have me go to therapy and go take pills on a sliding scale. I still have to travel to those places. I don't have the money for insurance on this thing. All of my money since I left Colorado has been from other people. My disability was taken away because I didn't have the money to defend myself in court. I didn't have the money to hire a real lawyer. But all these people have things to hide. That's something important to pay attention to. They all also have families and roofs over their heads. Now, this Sammy Leon fella, he has the benefit of Darren O'Connor helping to publicize the shit out of what happened to him. I stuck up for black lives, for women's lives. It didn't matter. As long as you're human, I stuck up for you. Now, there's people I don't agree with. I don't agree with the KKK. I don't agree with the police. I've known good police officers. The thing is, these people who wronged me, they all got away with it because the police wouldn't take my report. I've been talking about how the police won't take a report from a homeless person for years, and how if you try to turn in a police officer, they arrest all the witnesses. Well, in this case, that wasn't true because for once, the witnesses had houses. The cops have to mind their P's and Q's when it comes to people in houses because they're not alone. One person's paycheck is not enough to live on this day and age. Now, sure, after you've been working the same job for quite a few years, you got a decent amount of money and you've saved up some because you've been living with your wife or your mom or whoever, yeah, you're able to get out on your own. The average American lives with their mother and, well, with their parents, I should say, until they're 29 years old. 29. I was out of my mom's house by the time I was 16. She couldn't stay off the drugs. She went and snorted some cocaine with a child molester who was staying in a trailer on her property. That's where me and my mom had our issues. My very first day in Nebraska, my mom was dumb enough to ask me, Sean, you think you could go find me some cocaine? Like, no, I don't know anybody here. I just got here. No. I needed somebody on my side. They're not on my side if they're not willing to hear anything I have to say, and they're going to side with anybody who disagrees with me. Never mind the fact that they weren't there. Everything was done to prevent me from having an honest day in court. What I want is for my life to be over. I've been begging somebody to kill me for an entire year by the time Natalie died. I tried it 2 different ways, repeatedly. Begging people to shoot me and trying to trade anything that I had for enough pills to kill myself. I wanted to make sure it would kill me. Being assaulted, being threatened, being called a child molester and a drug dealer. No, Natalie Bollinger was the drug dealer. Alicia Bollinger was the drug dealer. They were both addicts. Same thing with Danica. Same thing with Shelley. Same thing with Maddie. Same thing with Rose. How is it these women got involved with Ted? Well, first of all, pretty. Rose is pretty. Danica used to be pretty before the meth use. Shelley used to be pretty. They wanted the drugs, and Ted had the drugs. Ted gave them the drugs, and they put out. That is the world that we live in today. Now, the things that I spoke about, if you guys paid any attention to the recordings from them therapy sessions, yeah, those therapists, they agreed with me. I'm right about the things that I said, but that's because I got an education. Now, then there's regional stuff, like what we got going on here. Brandy hasn't gotten back to me in quite a while. She's supposed to be my case manager. What is she doing exactly? I literally had to break the law to try to force an outside agency to take a look. Now, I could have proven everything that happened with that little telephone that I lost. No officer in Colorado was willing to take my report. They went out of their way to take away the evidence, not look at it. Meanwhile, with all of the shit that I have gone through, I need access to that information. It has the times and the dates of people like Karamia and Kara Johnson, Layla Johnson, or Layla Dunan, whatever she goes by now. These are fucking crazy people. I'm not going to stop speaking out about them until I'm dead. So, unfortunately for them, they chose not to do the right thing. And they also chose not to kill me. Natalie died the way that I wanted to. I wanted someone to shoot me in the head to end my pain. I grew up in the system with the things that these people accused me of happening to me. And nobody cared. Boys aren't supposed to talk about that stuff. My dad could have tried to get a hold of me, could have tried to speak to me, could have tried to pretend I was a human being after Natalie disappeared. He didn't. He made no effort. I needed family to actually care. They all showed me that they didn't. After Natalie died, I did call my dad a few times, try to get him to help. He ignored me. Of course, he's done that most of his life. When he was younger, he chose drugs over his own kids. When you're someone who suffers from sensory processing And that doesn't have to be somebody with autism. PTSD does the same thing. So you can have sensory processing issues over being raped. You can have sensory processing issues over going to war. You can have sensory processing issues over being homeless, being harassed by the police the way that they do. Women get treated a lot better than men. They really do. There's more services for women by a lot. People care what a woman has to say. Not once did Natalie ever say that I was a child molester or a rapist. Not even once. But in that Natalie Bollinger group, or on Natalie Bollinger's Facebook page, when she typed that on the 13th, after I exposed her dad for being a child molester, she got to see firsthand what I was dealing with. All she wrote on there was that I was a stalker, that I was mentally ill. And a bunch of people typed a bunch of stuff on there like, he's a child molester, he looks like a child molester, he's this and he's that. She got to see firsthand what I was going through. Except it wasn't people typing that shit on Facebook, it was people in real life. I do believe there's a pretty good chance that after posting that up and realizing what was going on, she realized how fucked up things that she had done were and how fucked up it was to ignore it. Danica said that Natalie loved me. Shelly said that too. She said Natalie's grandma told her that Natalie loved me. If Natalie loved me, she would have talked to me. Tried to understand what was going on. Same thing with Joanna Taylor, typing that she loves me, but she didn't bother to find out what was going on. She didn't bother to call. It didn't bother her at all that her taking shit wrong and texting and typing those pretty words were making it worse. I don't need pretty words. I need actual help. I want my life to be over. I wanted to die so these people would leave me alone, so they would stop pretending like I would hurt them, because people were actually hurting me over them pretending. Natalie's family should be forced to look at our messages. They should be forced into a courtroom to face charges for the things that they did. My constitutional rights were violated. I was prevented from making a report across the state of Colorado. I had my friend's family threatened and intimidated by police and Bollingers. And with all that going on, were these people just fucking with me? Was Caramia just fucking with me about them sending her pictures of her son with a noose around his neck? Was Candace just fucking with me about them posting pictures in them Facebook groups of her old living room with those pictures on the wall? Was she just fucking with me when she said that Officer Beard showed up and that her landlord threatened to kick her out? Fuck it.